welcome back to the Q. A lot of action happening within the last 90 seconds or so here at the arena.
Yes, we heard a lot of commotion going on. John Kosich, you're down on the floor. You're trying to explain that something just happened with the rules.
Yeah, we talked about it when we were live on the floor a second ago. The Never Trump movement, the last chance that they had for any kind of a challenge to Donald Trump would have been with the Rules Committee, trying to get changes to the rules for this convention and for the next 4 years. It was voted down last week in the 112-member committee. They only got 12 votes out of it, those looking to change the rules. What they had hoped to do was get a majority of signatures from 7 different states over the past couple of days that would allow them to get a roll call vote on this, and that obviously was shot down. And you hear the pro-Trump and the anti-Trump kind of people going back and forth. They've left the podium, so they're going to let them voice this out amongst themselves.
Well, you know, John, it was funny. Just turn around looking down here. I mean, you see people standing next to each other going at it. I mean, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, I mean, really going at it.
This was really, again, that last opportunity for, again, this was supposed to be a contested convention. Everyone swore it would be. It was not going to be. It was the Rules Committee last week. We thought that's where the planks were going to be changed and rules were going to be changed. It wasn't. This was the last chance. And the thing is, in a situation like this, it's up to the chairman to say what he hears on the yays or nays, and it always goes the party's way when it goes with something like that, and it gets people upset.
We can tell you it went from chanting USA, USA, and now there is cheering. We see Trump supporters are standing on the steps right now with a banner. Looks like they're trying to get them down at some point. All the delegates that were sitting down, they are now all standing up. All the delegates are standing up now.
And this is not the image that the Republican Party wanted to send out. They wanted to show that this was going to be a united front. It's a vocal minority, they will tell you, on the floor, but they're being very vocal at this point this evening.
Extremely.
Are you surprised about what's transpired?
No, and another thing to point out, it wasn't just the anti-Trump people that had an issue. They teamed up with the Ted Cruz people who wanted planks on, they wanted closed primaries. Closed primaries where only Republicans can vote, and that would have defeated Donald Trump probably in this primary process if it was a closed primary. So they were getting together with the Never Trump people, and that's why they thought they could get the majority of signatures in those 7 states to get that roll call vote that they were looking for, and it didn't come to be.
So what happens here? Where do we go from here?
At this point, the gavel was sounded, and it was asked to be reconsidered, and when that happens, it's a parliamentary procedure, but when it happens and it's defeated again, the book is closed on it. Okay. So now we moved on.
All right.
And now that they can get on with the rest of the convention.
Well, hey, we had a little bit of excitement.
Yeah.
The band is playing now.
Yeah. So much for a quiet afternoon.
No quiet afternoon here at the RNC. Okay, John, we thank you for giving us perspective because it definitely changed the mood quite quickly.
Very fast.
Very fast. All right,
John, great work.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been busy back here at the Q for the past few minutes. John Kosich joining us once again. John, we heard more commotion down there. What's going on?
We thought this was settled and done, but they came back out and said that it wasn't clear, the voice vote, and they called for another voice vote. And the ayes and the yeas and the nays were equally as loud. The problem with these roll calls, they told the delegation beforehand, they told the gallery, hey, you cannot vote from the upper seats.
But they're doing that.
They
are doing that, yes.
Yeah, there's supposed to be 2,400 people on the floor voting, and it sounds like a Q, a game for the Cavs, with 20,562 in the arena. So right now, they had another vote. The chair is gaveling. I don't know if they're going to call for another one or possibly a roll call. We're listening in right now.
Chair recognizes the delegate from Utah.
They're now recognizing a delegate from Utah.
I make a motion that we have a roll call vote on the rules.
They're motioning that they have another roll call vote on the rules.
And this would put people on the record where they stand, and they would have an exact vote of the 2,472 delegates where they stand on the Rules Committee package.
Instead of just going by a sound.
Exactly.
And that's happening
and it's so tough to. And again, this is a marriage of the dumb Trump people and also the pro-Ted Cruz people. Ted Cruz, again, wanted that change in the rules that would have closed the primary process. It wouldn't have allowed Democrats to vote in the Republican primary. And they were partnering together to introduce these little changes because, again, if that had been in place, Ted Cruz feels that there's no way Donald Trump would have been the nominee. Somebody, a conservative candidate like him, probably would have been.
So we knew this was happening coming into the convention.
Yeah, we knew, and we knew they quickly wanted to dismiss it.
Right.
They did a phenomenal job, the Trump whip team, last Thursday with the Rules Committee. They had a marathon session that started in the morning, didn't end till like 11:30 at night. They plowed through the rules, wore the opposition down, if you will, and now it's that package that they're voting on right now.
Well, a lot of chanting again, the floor. If we could just take a shot of this floor and we can see all of the delegates stand. Okay, if we could just see everyone standing, there's been a lot of chanting. And again, people who are not on the floor are also participating as well, being very vocal.
Yeah, very few people sitting in their seats.
Right.
Everyone's standing on the floor.
You can
hear them shouting, "We want Trump.
We want Trump. We want Trump." So, John, this is a convention that's not will not be void of any excitement. Not expecting it to last this long, but we knew that this was definitely a possibility.
So I'm being told that 9 states wanted a vote on this. 3 withdrew, so it doesn't meet the threshold. So I'm going to assume that they didn't hit that 7th threshold that they needed to have that vote. They're recognizing a delegate from West Virginia for a new resolution. We'll see.
From West Virginia offering the following resolution and ask for its immediate consideration. Resolved that the report of the committee on the platform be considered as adopted. Mr. Chairman, for the purposes of explaining the report only, I am honored to yield to the co-chairs of the committee, Senator John Barrasso, Governor Mary Fallon, and Congresswoman Virginia Fox. Thank you.
I now have the honor of recognizing the chairman of the platform committee.
Okay, so they're moving on to the platform committee, so I'm not quite sure where things stand. John Barrasso was the chair of that committee.
So this really just plays out right in front of everybody. I mean, I know they've been behind closed doors, but it really does play out.
Listen, Sam Donaldson told me years ago, you do not want to make noise at one of these conventions. This is like watching, making sausage. You don't want to see how it's made.
No, you don't.
And for the most part, they keep this stuff in the back rooms. Last week at those convention committee meetings, they don't like to see this play out on the floor with all the cameras on it.
Right. Well, as you said, they don't want to see that the party is divided on some issues. They don't want that to come out.
And they want this over as quickly as possible.
They do. They don't want this spilling into the primetime lineup. They want that "Make America Safe Again" is their theme for this evening. They want to have those speakers. They don't want us talking about rules fights. They want to hear their message.
Right.
You would be very proud of the delegates.
And again, the platform committee, Senator John Barrasso had that up. And they thought, after the 2012 loss, the Republican Party had an autopsy where they went in and looked, what do we need to do to win 4 years from now? What did we do wrong? What can we change? And one of the things was appealing to a broader base of people across the country. And they thought with the platform committee, it would reflect that with a change on gay marriage, for example. Not necessarily endorsing gay marriage, but language that would be critical of the Supreme Court decision, as opposed to, we say a man and woman is a marriage. And they didn't go that way. They went with the old traditional language of a marriage is between a man and a woman. So this is a platform more in tune with 12 years ago than it is what they were looking to do 4 years ago for this year.
Thus, the reason why there's some dissension in the crowd today. Well, Senator John Barrasso, the chair of the platform committee, still on the stage speaking. And it's calmed down somewhat. At least they are being quiet.
Again, the platform, there wasn't really a great fight expected on that. No one was going to challenge planks. We anticipated. But again, the rules was the main thing.
Okay. All right, John, great insight.
Thank you
again,
very much.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
It's
Process
really
how it works.
Incredible to see. Let's go to the floor now and check it with John Kosich to give us more details about what we're taking a look at.
Which fell short of the 7 they needed. That was
Hi, John.
Guys, we're talking to a delegate from Washington. He's basically saying that well, let's listen in. He's saying that they were strong-armed in their effort to get a roll call vote. They had the votes, and he feels that the Republican Party stepped in and took it away from them.
And from past conventions, it was clear that they would do what they did tonight, which is to call the vote and then to just read off the teleprompter and say that the yeas won it, whether the yeas won or not.
So what did we see then, you think? What did we see now?
We saw a miscarriage of justice. We saw a party that doesn't want to seem to operate in a democratic fashion and actually allow votes to be counted.
Will you walk out now?
Maybe I will talk to other people and see what they want to do, but I don't know. I don't know at this point.
What kind of arm twisting do you think was done to get those 3 states to withdraw?
I don't know if...
Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Do you know which the states are?
I don't know if there was arm twisting. I don't know if there actually were 3 states that withdrew. I have no idea because it's all happening behind the scenes.
What does this mean to the Republicans out in the rest of the country that see this unfolding? What about the broader electoral process?
We're being pulled off the floor by security, saying that the aisle needs to be opened. We've had a large group of people out here, not an issue in the past. There is a pathway through, but they're pushing the media off the floor.
No, they shouldn't. They should not. It was fixed.
Is this Donald Trump's rigged system?
It is Donald Trump's rigged system. Donald Trump conspired with the RNC to rig this.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right. Thank you very much. We're talking to one of the delegates from Washington State. Again, as you heard him say, you feel the system was rigged.
Thank you.
That the vote was rigged, that they had the votes from the more than the 6 states that were counted. 9 states submitted votes that they would open up. 9 states have to submit signatures from a majority of the people in order to open up a roll call vote. They had 9, but they told that they lost 3 of them when they withdrew. He questions whether or not that happened. But again, you can see the tensions building down here along the floor. Again, we're being escorted off the floor. I'll make my way back up to the platform. We can send it back upstairs, and you guys can take it over at any point. But again, that's the situation down here. Tempers and feelings running high on the floor this afternoon.
Yeah, John Kosich on the floor. Yeah,
that is. You can feel it. You can feel it. All right. Thank you very much, John.
Give us our John Kosich, who is here to break down what happened. And John, really an unusual sight.
Yeah, we're live here on the floor right now, and if you've ever been to one of those weddings where the families don't always get along, but the union still takes place, it's kind of like what transpired here on the floor. We're being kicked off the floor at this moment, but I'm talking with an Arizona delegate. Chris, your reaction to what happened here this afternoon?
In all honesty, I honestly felt like crying about this. I thought I was with a party that believed in honesty and transparency. I don't understand why we can't have a transparent vote.
We have work to do.
Where do you go from here?
Let's go.
I'm not really sure at this point. My understanding is there's not really any option when the chairman doesn't recognize the actual will of the delegates.
All right, Chris Morrell, thank you very much from Arizona, one of the delegates here. We're being kicked off the floor. For what reason, I'm not quite sure. But essentially, yeah, it was basically what they were looking to do. The Rules Committee, Monday is a day of business here at the convention. And the Rules Committee, the package was presented. Again, it passed last week 99-12. But what they wanted to do was introduce some changes to it. In order to do that, they needed the support of members of 7 delegations. They presented the signatures from 9 delegations. But then they were told that 3 of those delegations had withdrawn. And a lot of people here who supported those changes upset with what happened here on the floor. Very little options you can go forward from here. But again, they're not very happy with the way this thing was handled here this afternoon. It went to a voice vote at one point. And when you get all these people, alternate delegates and other people in the gallery, those voices come into play. They thought they had the votes, but apparently in the ears of the chairman, they did not. So that's how the first day is gone. They're taking a recess right now, and they're going to come back here around 8 o'clock tonight, and that's when things will begin to pick up, and Donald Trump will get to present his case with his Make America Great Again. And so I'm going to hand it over to Leon.